What to do when the shoe is on the other foot. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with an interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how can you apply it to your life and your business right now? Or how might you be able to? The expression, the shoe is on the other foot, became popular in the mid-1900s. And it might be interesting to know, because I sure didn't know this, but in the 1800s, it wasn't until the late 1800s or the 1800s that they started to make a right and a left shoe. Up until that time, there was just one shoe. I suppose they were kind of boxy and square or something. And the expression was actually the boot was on the other leg. And in the mid-1900s, it became the shoe was on the other foot because they had made right and left feet. But before then, you'd put your boot or shoe when you got it on either foot. And if you put the same one on the same foot repeatedly, it would kind of contour and form to your foot. And then if you accidentally mixed them up, it would feel funny. It would feel off, right? And the expression became the shoe is on the other foot because it felt like the roles were reversed, the shoes were reversed, and it felt funny or strange. And it came to apply to then any situation that you might find yourself in that was the opposite. So think of students and teachers. The teacher becomes a student becomes a teacher. The doctor becomes the patient becomes a doctor. The business owner becomes an employee, the employee becomes a business owner. The vendor becomes a customer, the customer becomes a vendor, etc. The mother becomes a daughter, the daughter becomes a mother. We often play different roles in different times of our life and in different periods of our life. We never really know what roles another person is playing, which I say reminds us to be empathetic, to realize that we're going through changes in different roles as we experience our life, and so is everyone else on the planet. And each of us experiences life through our own unique perspectives and filters based on the individual experiences that we've had. And so we approach life and situations differently, which makes the world a lot more fun and a lot more interesting place. Now, with the pandemic and the COVID-19 crisis, all of our businesses are going through many different changes and many different cycles. Many of us who have had businesses open and been running for years, some cases decades, automatically find ourselves shut down and at home. Or many of us that have been working out in the world and going to work every day find ourselves working from home. Many of us who have had many jobs before find ourselves unemployed, and the role is now reversed from being the breadwinner and the employed person in our household or taking care of ourselves. We're finding ourselves having to be resourceful and look for different situations and different solutions to provide for even our most basic needs. The roles have been reversed. The shoe is on the other foot. And in some cases, we're waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? Or we're waiting for the opportunity to go back to work, put our shoes on and go trucking back to our lives as we sort of knew them, right? We know that they're not going to be the same as they were, but we want to go back to some semblance of, congregating and being with other people and being more social, because I think all of us are starving for social interaction now. So I love this expression. I'm sure I've used it before. I can't think of a specific instance where I've said, hey, the shoe is on the other foot, but I've definitely thought it in different situations and different experiences that I've had. And you probably have as well. I have lost my job. I have, I guess this can apply to everything. I mean, I never would have imagined that I would have died, right? And had a sudden cardiac arrest or some kind of an illness and been bedridden. Yet I found myself in those situations. I guess I knew someday I'd be a mother, so that's not a great example. But I love being a student, and now I find as a coach and a consultant, I am as well a teacher, and I share some of the lessons that I've learned along the way with other people. So I would be curious to know what your experience is with this expression, with this idiom. Have you found yourself in situations where the shoe is on the other foot? One of the best ways I find to communicate with people is to put myself in their shoes. Sometimes this is easier than others. If our customers are like we used to be, it's pretty easy to put ourselves in their position, right? We can easily imagine the problems and the challenges that they're facing. We can always ask them the challenges and the problems that they're facing and help them come up with solutions for those things. But we need to do that in all of our relationships, with our vendors, with our regulators. Many of us are in industries that are regulated by different agencies, and we have to understand their perspective. A lot of times, I always coach my kids on, and they get both my kids like to speed. What am I talking about? And they've gotten tickets before, and I coach them on, they'll get upset because we all get upset when we're stopped from doing something we want. They like to drive fast. The police say, no, you don't drive fast. So, like human beings, we get upset about those situations. I just like to remind them, hey, policemen are just doing their job. Their job is to stop people from speeding and to write tickets and generate revenue for their municipalities. So if you're choosing to speed, then you're inadvertently choosing to be susceptible to getting a ticket. And we have to remember that, put ourselves in other people's shoes as well as the shoe being on the other foot. So would love to know your experience with this expression. That's it. That's what I've got for today. I am going to go enjoy the day with my family. Have an awesome day, and I hope you get the opportunity to do that as well. Even if it's just via technology or Zoom calls, we can still stay in touch with one another. And I will be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you be able to apply it to your business and your life right now? Take care.